All right. Hi, everybody. I know we are going to wait a little bit until people start watching this so we can really get into this story, but I'm Madison here with Ananda. We're talking about a story that is now going to be airing tonight on Late News tonight, and then the next part is going to air tomorrow. And it's a story that Ananda's been working on with Barbara, one of our photographers, for a while now.
Yeah.
And it's a passion of yours. So
Yeah.
we'll get into it in a hot second, but I want to make sure we get some more people watching before we dive really into it so you don't miss. But it looks like we have about like 80 or so now.
100, yeah.
Okay, we're good now. So
Okay.
bring us up to speed about this story, because we're going to show you inside the Solano State Prison for a really inspirational story too.
Yeah, definitely. So as reporters, we usually make calls to see what's kind of going on. And when I made calls over to Solano State Prison, they were telling me about this program that it's going to be the 10th year for this program. It's called the Offender Mentor Certification Program. And so inmates who are chosen for this program, they become certified alcohol and drug abuse counselors once they get out. And so we followed them along this journey for the past month. It was for the course of May up until graduation, kind of the training, what goes into it, what they study. So they study a lot, like they're reading the entire time, law and ethics, pharmacology, and a lot of training when it comes to themselves too, because it comes from themselves first, and then they start reading up on books and different things too.
Gotcha.
So yeah.
And so you're following along 3 inmates who are already through this. They just graduated not too long ago. And these are, again, you were just kind of mentioning it, but like these are violent crimes we're talking about. These people, these inmates aren't in here for like a petty theft or talk a little bit more about what they're in for.
Yeah, so Lewis, I'll go by inmate, but Lewis Berumen, one of the inmates I talked to, he got in there when he was 16 years old for a murder and robbery. And so he said that even before this program and before going through this program, he had a different mindset. He was like, I'm in this by myself. His mom and his brother are also in prison. So he said even before, when he was a kid, he thought this was like the life his mom wanted for him. And he never cared to even ask her first. He said that was his mentality. He was like, I was in it for myself. He shared with me what happened and how that crime happened, which I won't go dive into too much, because you'll hear about it for the 11 o'clock. But he said going through this program, he realized so much about himself and also his family too, and wanting to be there for his family. He gets out in 2023. That's when he paroles. And he even said, he said he was a little worried about what's going to happen to him, because all he knew was what life was like when he was 16 years old 20 years ago. And so when he would be released, if he didn't go through this program, he's like, I would just go back to what is familiar, pretty much, going back to the streets and just trying to survive that way.
Wow.
Yeah,
it's going to be really interesting to watch. And we have a trailer pulled up, and of course, if you have questions, please let us know. We do hear you, Susan. I know there's a couple other people saying hi. Patricia's saying hi. Candace, hello. Hi, Sherry. Hi, Joseph. We appreciate you all watching. It's an incredibly important story, but let's play the trailer quickly, I guess.
We could play it. Let me open up my...
you guys are all on my phone stand, so just give me a minute to see what we can do here, but I can flip you around. Hello, Eleanor.
Let's see if I can get the audio in check here. If it can, let's see.
Sorry, guys, I'm kind of adjusting this.
Okay.
My crime was 3 counts of attempted murder and a carjacking.
I was 16 years old. So even thinking like long term, I didn't necessarily think about the long term consequences.
I really don't know what life is going to look like when I get out. We're going into a changed world. Before I was incarcerated, they didn't even have iPhones. Good afternoon, everyone. So like we were talking about, the decisional ballot sheet.
One of the reasons why I wanted to do it was because I seen other men who were involved in it, and I seen the benefit that they were getting out of it.
We're going to be certified as substance abuse counselors. Seeing this out is just not enough. That's why it's important, I feel, to make the living amends and to do things like I'm doing now to correct it and to do better. For me, this is like the biggest achievement of my life.
All right, so that's the trailer. Let me flip you guys So flip it back around. Sorry, this is like on my phone
so
stand.
we do have
We're
that
really
link
informal
of
here.
the trailer there too if you want to watch it, because I know the audio is probably a little bit bad.
Yeah.
I need to get speakers, so but you can rewatch that. There, we just posted that link under the comments there. But I know maybe some people might be questioning, who are these inmates and how did they apply? It was through a really rigorous program, so they take a look at how they got into prison, the behavior in prison, also their application as well.
Right.
And level 1 to 4 inmates are able to apply for this program too, because when I was talking to some of the leaders there, they were saying that for a lot of these level 4 inmates, which is like going back, level 2, level 4, the level 2 inmates are the ones I interviewed. Level 4 is where you have to request to get outside, pretty much. Like you stay in these like cells, these like doors, and
Who would be a level 4?
they said it's based on
what?
behavior.
Oh,
It's
okay.
based on behavior.
Sorry,
if you're
I'm
going to
so
cause fights,
like
they
out
have
there.
gun towers in level 4s. Level 2s, you're staying in more of like a college dorm-like setting.
Got it. Okay.
So you might have had the similar crimes to get in there, but it's based on your behavior, and like you work your way down to level 2 sometimes. That's kind of like
Wow.
how it works. Yeah.
Wow. And I know, like, you've been working on this now
Yeah.
for a while. I'm sure there's a lot that stood out to you,
Yeah.
but like, what's the one little nugget? I know we don't want to give all the details away, right? But like,
Yeah.
what's the one thing that you learned that you didn't really realize doing the story?
I think something that like got me kind of emotional, even our photographer Barbara, who worked on the story as long as I
Yeah.
have, because we worked on it together. I think what was really emotional was the day of graduation and seeing the impact that this
Yeah.
program had, because for Lewis, the one that I mentioned before, he didn't see his family for 10 years, and he said that was a lot on him, but he also knew that it was hard for his family to visit him, knowing that he wouldn't be able to go back home with him. And his family was there, and he was one of the speakers for graduation, and his whole family teared up. You just see the impact that this program can have, because even his brother, his twin brother, said that the way he spoke was so different on the phone.
Yeah.
Like, he showed empathy, which he didn't show before. It's just like the little things that that some people may not realize.
Yeah, wow. I know, that's really cool. And the graduation is part 2, which will air tomorrow.
Yeah, so that was
so-
that's graduation.
Yeah, so I think there's a couple questions like
Yeah.
coming in. It's hard for me to see them, so now we look crazy staring at the screen in just a second. So good to hear positive story. This is from Deanne. Yeah, totally. And then Brian saying, hold on, let me click on it. Brian saying, I've worked with many parents that were incarcerated, lost custody of their children, provided parenting education classes. There are many that were able to make substantial changes and become positive citizens in our community. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the whole goal, right?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
you spend so much time in prison if you have the possibility of parole. Clearly for something you were convicted of, but again, these people want to make the most. Some of them want to make the most of their time in there and come out on the other side with a different outlook on things.
Yeah. And we got to see so many different sides, because tonight is going to be more of like a day in the life, seeing
Right.
what a lot of these inmates go through, and they're saying it's the same thing day in and day out. If you don't take advantage of these programs, you wake up every single morning based on a schedule, you go to lunch at the same schedule. It's just the same thing over and over again, and it looks like the same thing. You're wearing the same thing. Yesterday it could look the same thing as 5 years ago. And I did pull up some numbers because I was curious how much inmates cost the state, and it's roughly around $83,000. So you think of
An inmate?
an inmate cost
it.
from food to security and everything, $83,000 a year. So you think of once these inmates get released, if they don't have the programs, if they don't have that structure to figure out how to survive out there without
Right.
going back into their old ways, that's another $83,000 that's going to be pulled back into the state.
Yeah.
So, and there are 144 slots for this program for this year too. So another interesting thing to know.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's a really impactful story, and I know you've been working really hard, and the video looks, hats off to Barbara for making it look so good too. David saying, oh, you spent 2 years there from 1992 to 94, paroled August 94. Well, David, if you have a story about life after prison that you'd be willing to share with us, that's what this is all about, right? So let us know. You know where to find us. Brian saying, good job. Paula's saying, I agree, Brian. I work at the California Medical Facility in Vacaville. Rehabilitation does work. And then Jackie says, well, if you don't want to do the time, don't do the crime. Yeah, well, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's so kind of. I think that's like an easy thing to like ask some of these inmates like what they were thinking during that time. And these inmates were so young when everything happened.
Yeah.
I think like one was 16, for example. Could you
Wow.
imagine your mindset when you're 16 and not having that foundation, just not knowing what is right or wrong, and just that different mentality? The other guy was 26 years old. And so it's crazy to think like your mindset when you're that young too,
Right.
and what's happened after that.
And for something that will change your life forever. I mean, they probably didn't want to be in prison, but yeah, I mean, you know, if you do something that's against the law, it's most likely going to happen. But it's awesome to see that they are part of this program. And there's other programs too. I know that's something that you've been exploring. So we're going to have a lot of this on Late News Tonight at 11 with Ananda coming up here in just a couple hours. Of course, if you guys have questions, let us know.
I'll go in there and like comment. And, if you have any other questions.
I tagged Ananda on this post, so you can go in there and click on it and see. But yeah, we're getting some more comments in. Let's see if I can read this one. Sorry guys, it's just such small.
Click on it, yeah.
Okay, Maria's saying some people need to hit rock bottom to have a spiritual awakening. Sometimes going to prison is a blessing to catapult the change. Yeah, that's a great way to look at it too. Brian's saying, I have been at that facility or faculty. I think facility to pick up to pick up inmates, and there are certainly people that want to make substantial changes. So and I know each prison's different too. It's all run by different people. So like of course the people who are the wardens and the officers there, like, you know, if those people connect with the inmates or the inmates connect with them, it's probably going to help too.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, we'll have that story coming up on Late News Tonight at 11. Let us know if you have any questions. Thanks so much for watching.